Let's kick things off with Malik Hooker, because there's been a lot of chatter about his status, and it's worth unpacking carefully. Hooker did not participate in practice on Monday, though to be fair, practice that day was hardly a full session. Reports indicated he was dealing with a toe issue, and while some outlets referred to it as a sore toe, I'm not ready to hit the panic button just yet. It's one of those situations where timing and context matter far more than the initial headlines. Veteran players in particular often get light days in the middle of the week, and that's especially true following a longer gap between games. The key takeaway is to monitor him closely as the week progresses, particularly during the Wednesday and Thursday sessions. If Hooker shows up limited, or even participates in a limited capacity, that's usually a strong indicator that he's on track to be active on game day. The past performance should give us some reassurance too. After a solid debut in the 2025 season, there's reason to believe that a minor toe issue won't derail him. Still, football being football, we watch, we analyze, and we prepare for all possibilities. That's how you approach injuries in the NFL, cautiously but not hysterically, unless the situation clearly escalates. Moving over to the young talent, the topic of Jaden Blue has sparked a lot of discussion. He was a healthy scratch in Week 1, which caught a lot of fans off guard. Being a healthy scratch doesn't necessarily mean a player is injured. It simply means they didn't get on the field due to coaching decisions, depth chart considerations, or performance evaluations during the week. In Blue's case, the head coach's remarks shed some light on the reasoning. Essentially, there's a theme of consistency and earning your reps. The mantra of competing every single day is not just a catchphrase, it's an operational standard. For younger players, showing up and performing well one day and then falling off the next doesn't meet the bar. It's not about talent alone. It's about consistent preparation, mental focus, and reliability. Blue is extremely talented, no doubt, but talent without consistency won't always translate into playing time. The coaching staff is making it clear that young players must demonstrate day-in, day-out commitment if they want to see the field, and that extends beyond practice into how they prepare, how they engage with the team, and how they respond to feedback. It's a tough environment, but that's the NFL. There's no entitlement based on potential alone. Performance is earned, not granted. Then there's the broader picture with other young players as well. The Cowboys had several inactive players in Week 1, including a Johnny Cornelius, Mazi Smith, and Shamar James. Some of these decisions might have been influenced by roster numbers or situational strategy, but the coaching philosophy seems clear. If you want to play, you must be consistently reliable. Mazi Smith's situation is particularly interesting because it seems to combine performance expectations with practical roster dynamics despite the encouragement for young players to earn it. Comment from ownership suggests that Smith might remain inactive in Week 2 as well. That creates an interesting tension. On one hand, the team emphasizes meritocracy and effort in practice. On the other hand, roster realities and strategic considerations can override the pure earn-it narrative. It's a delicate balance, and for a player like Smith, it means there's added pressure to make a significant impression during every opportunity to train and practice. Meanwhile, Shamar James might fall into the same category of needing to prove consistency before earning active status. These situations highlight a recurring theme in professional sports. Potential alone doesn't guarantee opportunity, and even talented players need to navigate team strategy, positional depth, and the sometimes unpredictable nature of coaching decisions. At the same time, there's an intriguing mix of strategic patience and urgency when it comes to contract extensions and player retention, specifically regarding Tyler Smith. The dialogue around Smith's potential extension demonstrates how front offices juggle long-term planning with immediate season priorities. There's no official hard deadline yet, which allows both sides to maintain flexibility. Players want to focus on performing at their best during the season, while the team aims to secure top talent without rushing negotiations prematurely. The numbers being discussed for Smith are substantial, reflecting his value and the broader market dynamics of NFL contracts for elite linemen. Fully guaranteed figures, average annual value, franchise tag projections, these are the metrics that define not just the contract itself, but also the timing and strategy behind reaching an agreement. It's not simply about money, it's about maintaining team stability, keeping key players motivated and ensuring the roster is built to compete over multiple seasons. In this context, the Cowboys are balancing urgency with patience, aware that the start of the 2026 free agency period represents a more critical threshold for timing any potential deal. Returning to the practice field, the nuances of young player development remain front and center. Coaches emphasize that consistency is the ultimate measure of a player's readiness. Talent will get you noticed, but reliability and day-to-day effort determine whether you actually take the field on Sundays. For someone like Jaden Blue, this could be a motivating moment, a chance to focus, tighten routines, and show that he can meet the high standards demanded by the coaching staff. The same applies to Cornelius, Smith, and James. Each has the opportunity to make an impression, but the margin for error is slim. NFL teams operate with razor-thin expectations for performance, both in practice and in preparation. Missing a single element, whether mental or physical, can mean losing your spot on game day. At the same time, there's always the balancing act of roster strategy. Who is needed on special teams, who is being preserved for long-term development, and who must earn snaps through sheer consistency. It's an intricate puzzle that challenges not only players, but also coaching staff and front office strategists. Through all of this, fans are watching closely, analyzing and forming their own predictions about who will emerge as the active contributors in Week 2. Will Jaden Blue take that next step and show he deserves a role? How will Maisie Smith respond to limited opportunities and external commentary? What about Shamar James? Can he rise above initial challenges and prove himself? Each scenario carries implications not just for individual players, but for the overall team dynamics, game planning, and even contract considerations. Coaches are not just evaluating physical talent, they are observing maturity, consistency, and the mental approach to preparation. NFL football is as much a psychological and strategic game as it is a physical contest. In this environment, every drill, every practice snap, every film session carries weight. The young players who recognize that and respond accordingly are the ones who transition from being prospects to becoming reliable contributors on Sundays. Meanwhile, the focus on Malik Hooker and the impact of his availability cannot be understated. A player of his caliber anchors the defense, and even a minor injury can have ripple effects through game planning. Defensive coordinators adjust schemes based on personnel availability, and losing a key player for even a single game can force shifts in assignments and rotations. That's why monitoring Hooker through Wednesday and Thursday practice sessions is crucial. While there's no need for alarm, there's also no room for complacency. The NFL is an environment where timing, health, and opportunity intersect in ways that could define a season. A toe injury might seem minor, but the difference between full participation and limitation can shape matchups, rotations, and overall defensive effectiveness. Fans, analysts, and coaches alike pay close attention to these details because they matter when the field lights come on and the games begin. Now let's shift our attention back to the young players and the broader implications for the Cowboys roster. Jaden Blue's situation is especially compelling because it reflects a tension that exists across the team between potential and performance. Blue is undeniably talented, and there's no question that when he's on the field, he brings an impact that can swing momentum. But in the NFL, raw talent isn't enough. Execution and consistency are everything. Coaches are constantly evaluating not just physical skill but mental readiness, effort in practice, and reliability. Week 1 served as a wake-up call for Blue. He saw the sidelines not because of injury, but because he hadn't yet demonstrated the day-to-day consistency required to earn snaps. That's a tough lesson, but one that can serve as motivation. A player with Blue's ability has the tools to turn it around quickly, yet he has to channel that talent into disciplined preparation. The difference between a promising prospect and a dependable starter often comes down to this type of work ethic, and the pressure to internalize that message starts immediately. Week 2 could be a defining moment for him, an opportunity to prove he can rise above initial setbacks and command the role he clearly has the physical ability to fill. Then there's Maisie Smith, whose early season inactivity paints a more concerning picture. Unlike Blue, whose scratch might be seen as part of a learning curve, Smith's status suggests there are multiple factors at play: limited participation in training, comments from ownership indicating continued inactivity, and the necessity for the team to make room for returning players from injured reserve all contribute to his sense of urgency. Smith is at a crossroads. If you want to secure a long-term spot, every practice, every rep, and every drill matters. The NFL is unforgiving in this regard. Miss a beat, and you might miss your chance entirely. For Smith, it's not just about demonstrating talent. It's about proving readiness, durability, and a willingness to adapt to the team's strategic needs. Early season inactivity isn't unusual for rookies or younger players, but repeated scratches in the first few weeks raise questions about where a player fits in the depth chart. It's an environment where evaluation is relentless, and even minor missteps can have long-term consequences. For Smith, the challenge is clear. He must respond to feedback and capitalize on any opportunity that arises to show he belongs in the active rotation. Shamar James also fits into this broader narrative of young players striving to make their mark. His Week 1 scratch, paired with special teams activation for a teammate, hints at a coaching staff carefully managing personnel while emphasizing accountability. James, like the other young athletes, faces the dual challenge of mastering his assignments while also demonstrating consistency in every aspect of preparation. Coaches are constantly observing how players respond to guidance, adapt to adjustments, and maintain focus throughout the week. For young players, these observations can determine the difference between being inactive and seeing meaningful snaps on game day. James's journey underscores a broader theme. NFL development isn't linear. Talent alone won't guarantee playing time, and external factors such as roster composition, injuries, and team needs interact with individual performance to shape opportunities. Each practice becomes a proving ground, a chance to earn trust, and a stage to demonstrate that potential can be transformed into tangible contributions on the field. Meanwhile, discussions around Tyler Smith's potential contract extension illustrate another layer of complexity for the team. Securing a long-term deal for a key player like Smith is not just a matter of financial negotiation. It's about maintaining organizational stability, rewarding performance, and projecting a vision for sustained success. Smith's current contract details, including guaranteed money and franchise tag considerations, reflect the broader dynamics of elite NFL contracts. Teams must balance offering competitive terms with managing salary cap implications, and players are weighing the security of guaranteed money against the opportunity to maximize earnings over their career. From a strategic perspective, the Cowboys appear to be operating within a deliberate timeline. There's room to negotiate without forcing a rushed decision, yet there's also awareness that delaying too long could introduce risk if market conditions shift or other players set new benchmarks. The discussion around Smith mirrors broader league trends. The market for top-tier linemen is competitive, and securing extensions often requires aligning team priorities with player expectations in a way that benefits both sides. It's a careful balance between immediate performance focus and long-term roster strategy. Returning to the topic of young player development, the emphasis on consistency is relentless. The coaching staff evaluates not only game day potential, but also how players engage during the week, their mental approach, and their ability to execute fundamentals under pressure. Week 1 provided insight into where certain individuals stand. For some, the experience served as a reality check. For others, it was confirmation that consistent effort translates into opportunity. Blue, Smith, James, and Cornelius all represent different facets of this developmental process. Each must navigate expectations, internalize coaching feedback, and respond to situational variables such as roster depth and team strategy. The NFL environment is unforgiving, but it's also structured to reward players who combine talent with preparation, adaptability, and mental toughness. This dual emphasis on skill and consistency ensures that when the spotlight hits on Sunday, Those who take the field are fully prepared to perform at the highest level. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as, well, in a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL rumor mill, sources claim that the Dallas Cowboys have reportedly finalized a blockbuster trade with the Cleveland Browns, landing star pass rusher MYLES GARRETT. While the teams involved remain tight-lipped about the specifics, whispers around league circles suggest that the deal could reshape the defensive landscape of the NFC East. Garrett, widely regarded as one of the most dominant defensive ends in the league, has been linked to several high-profile teams in recent weeks, but the Cowboys' sudden push to secure his services has ignited speculation about owner Jerry Jones's intentions. Insiders hint that Dallas may be aiming not only to bolster its pass rush, but also to send a statement that the team is ready to contend at the highest level. The exact return for Cleveland is still shrouded in mystery, with some pundits suggesting multiple first-round picks, while others speculate a combination of draft capital and players could be involved. Fans of the Cowboys are buzzing with excitement at the prospect of pairing Garrett with Micah Parsons, forming a fearsome front that could torment quarterbacks across the league. Analysts, however, caution that while the move is bold, the integration for such a high-profile talent comes with challenges both on and off the field. Questions about cap space, locker room chemistry, and defensive schemes abound, fueling endless debates across social media platforms. Meanwhile, Brown supporters are rumored to be weighing the trade carefully, as losing Garrett would undoubtedly leave a gaping hole in Cleveland's defensive strategy. Some insiders suggest that the team sees this as an opportunity to rebuild, while maximizing value, hinting that the Browns may have their eyes on a future cornerstone through the draft assets acquired. Yet the suddenness of the trade chatter has left fans and experts alike on edge, speculating whether this could be the first domino in a series of seismic moves across the league. As the NFL world waits for official confirmation, the buzz around Garrett's potential arrival in Dallas continues to dominate headlines. If the deal goes through as rumored, it could mark a turning point for the Cowboys' ambitions and redefine the balance of power in the NFC. The coming days are expected to be filled with endless speculation, insider scoops, and perhaps even more surprises as teams scramble to adjust to what could become one of the most talked-about trades of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.